Of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Come and see the works of God. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire, and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Go, 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 go!
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. Amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place.
I think maybe I'd answer it this way. In my frustration sometimes, you know, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular
Shalom, Yasharallah. This is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Urchakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So as you can see on the video that's playing in the background or whatever, whatnot, you know, this video surfaced, you know, amongst us brethren the other day, you know, and, you know, me personally, I'm not sure if this is a real video or not. It doesn't even really matter if it's a real video or not. But nevertheless, you know, this is a spiritual booster for the men of the Lord, because why? We know that this is actually going to happen. All right, because it's all written in the scriptures, in which we're going to go through that today. But nevertheless, you know, for those, you know, who need a little how do you say, inspiration to believe or whatever, whatnot, you know, in this here video, you're going to see some visualizations. All right, like I said, this first clip that you're watching, you know, this apparently was a news clip over in Iran. All right, where the Iranian military came in contact with a so-called UFO, which we know are the chariots of the Lord. All right, and they were shooting their guns at it, but it wasn't touching it at all. All right, and it was just, you can see it in the video. You know, this isn't the first time this happened. I believe it's Mexico and also maybe Turkey. You know, they tried to. I don't know if they were shooting at them, but more or less they was pretty much trying to chase these chariots down to no avail. You know, but nevertheless, like I said, this is pretty much, you know, what we are anticipating happening, because this is, you know, this is a part of the prophecies that we're looking forward to come true. All right. And hey, as the Lord is showing us signs more and more often, like I said, you know, the video that you're watching, you know, hey, me personally, I don't know if it's real or if it's not, but that don't change nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, all right, and I know a lot of other people have actually seen chariots with their bare naked eyes. You know what I'm saying? And it does something to your mind, because your mind can't, how do you say, make sense to what the hell it is. All right. So when you see these things, they don't move, as you can see how this thing here is moving. They don't move how regular man-made aircraft moves. All right. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like how we have anything on this planet Earth. Nothing on Earth moves like this. All right. But nevertheless, you know, like I said, if you actually see these chariots with your own naked eyes, you'll know straight off the rip what it is. All right. So that's all that we need, you know. But nevertheless, we're going to jump into these here scriptures. All right. Because, hey, this is prophecy being fulfilled. And this is going to be another subject that we're talking about. All right. Which we've been pushing, you know, pushing out what the prophecies about the so-called UFOs, the chariots. You know, we've been talking about this forever. All right, but now what, you seen it on the news. All right, this is why, you know, you seen Donald Trump talk about the space program. All right, in which that is an older program, which has already been, they've already had that shit. Donald Trump is not creating no space program. The shit has been created way before Donald Trump even decided to run for president. All right, and if you can go back, Ronald Reagan made a speech, all right, about, you know, which is all prophecy. You know, he was talking about what he called the Star Wars program, all right? And he was saying how minuscule all these nations' problems would be, you know, how small all their problems would be in comparison to if there was some kind of outside threat. All the nations would band together basically to defend themselves against the outside threat. And this is according to scriptures, all right? This is why they're creating all these space-borne weapons, these satellites and things like that out in outer space. And that's why they're pointing them outwardly, all right? And then they also have, like I said, Donald Trump didn't create no damn space program. That shit has already been created. Ronald Reagan didn't even create the damn space program. It was created before him. All right. Before that, it was called a SDI program. I believe it was the Space Defense Initiative. All right. Which, you know, and it probably even goes back further than that. All right. They've been had satellites in outer space. They've been had laser weapons in outer space. All right. Since before the 80s. All right. So, again, this isn't nothing new. This is just now the time where they're so-called rolling it out into, how do I say, mainstream media. Just like the American government been knew about UFOs, so-called UFOs, the chariots, because there was chariots that flew over DC, man. All right, and you can YouTube that footage, all right? And this was actually published in newspapers and everything, all right? And there's been multiple accounts of basically, not to say the government, but basically more or less, you know, people would say, oh, this is conspiracy theories or just some nut job saying as well. Why do they have these things reported to where, you know, police departments have multiple reports where police actually was the ones that encountered this? Multiple pilots have encountered these things. People in broad daylight, the military see these things all the time. All right, now when you go outside of America, all these other countries, they all acknowledge this. It's just here. All right, so why do you, and then now with all these cell phones and the cell phone footage, you know what I'm saying? You could, hey, there's so many people uploading the videos, all right? And what's weird about that is I remember a few years back, you can go online and just on YouTube, all right, and look up just UFO videos, right? You'll see a lot of different people with their just regular cell phone video capturing this here on their cell phones. Now, when you go to look, you know, it's not so many of you don't see too many of those same videos. You know, they're trying to scrub the actual footage of all these things because they can't make any sense to it. But nevertheless, like I said, we're going to jump to some scriptures, all right, that kind of highlight what's, you know, what we're looking for to happen according to the prophecies, all right? So I'm going to start off here in the book of Matthew 24. I'm going to start at verse 29 and read to verse 31. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man. All right, so basically, all right, in the midst of, you know, YAHAWASHI is going to return in the midst of World War III with them chariots, all right? And that's what's going to happen, man. All right, we're going to wind up, the elect's going to basically be saved, all right, when the missiles is coming down, man. All right, you can read about that in the book of Job, all right? So, let me see if let me grab that real quick. Not to go too far off topic. I don't want this video to be too long, but let me grab, this is, Job chapter 5. Well, I'm going to just read verse, well, I'll read it through. This is Job 5 and 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. All right, so basically, we're going to be here throughout, you know how in Christianity they say post or pre-tribulation rapture. You know, that's what they talk about, post-trib or pre-trib. Either you're going to get raptured before all hell break loose, or you're going to get raptured afterwards. Well, according to the scripture, all right, like we reading here in Job 5 and 19, it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. All right, so basically, we're going to be going through all this here tribulation, like we was just reading in Matthew 24. All right, we're going to be going through all of these things, but the elect's not going to be touched in none of these things. But nevertheless, you know, we're going to wind up going through these here things. All right, we're going to be here when these things happen. All right, but then when those nukes come down, that's when we're going to wind up being taken into the chariots for it. We're going to be hitting the Lord's chambers for a little while until the evil pass over. All right, till the curse pass over the earth, man. Which are those ICBM missiles. All right, it says Matthew 24 and 29 again. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And what is that sign? The chariots, the so-called UFOs. Matter of fact, they're covering up the fact of the matter is that there's so many chariots that's visible on a day-to-day basis in broad daylight and at nighttime. All right. So multiple things is going on right now. For one, we got these goddamn cell phones. Now, everything serves multiple purposes. All right. Now, the cell phones that we got nowadays, all the technology in your cell phone is all the technology that they need to operate the ICBM missiles. All right. So basically, all the technology that you see around you and everything, all that comes from the ICBM missiles. All right. You can look on TED Talk. You know, they break that shit all the way the fuck down on there. How your camera was made, you know, for the guided system, the GPS in your phone, and so on and so forth. Which means your ass is a walking target to these guided missiles. But nevertheless, continuing on, you know, when, you know, one of the things with the cell phones is everybody's looking down constantly at their phone, so they're not really looking up. Another thing is with the chemtrails. Like I said, a lot of these things serve multiple purposes. All right. You know, they use that as a weapon, a weather weapon. All right. They also use it for poisoning the people. All right. But then they also use this for cloaking the damn skies so you don't see all these chariots. All right. But nevertheless, there's a lot of people catching these chariots on cell phone video, man. All right. They even got, oh, man, they got the space footage of a chariot flying through the sun. All right. And there's a scripture, I believe in the book of Revelation, that says, I've seen an angel standing in the sun. And when you see this chariot that flies through the sun and it has an effect on the sun, just imagine you have like a ball of water, you know, just levitating in the air. And you was to throw a rock through that water, you know, you would see the rock make the impact into the water. And as it exits the water, you'll see that splash of the water, you know, being drawn out, following after the rock. That was the same exact thing that happened when his chariot flew through the sun. All right. Now, Esau can't get damn near through, like, you know, you really can't get up into actual outer space. We go into upper, what do they call it? The upper Earth's orbit or whatever. Nevertheless, he's not really in outer space where they go, where the satellites and all that shit. That's not really outer space. All right. But nevertheless, they can't really get out there because of all the radiation. All right. The Van Allen radiation belt. You look that up. They tell you that shit. The astronauts, they tell you they never really went out there because the radiation is so high. Even with their eyes closed and all the shade, the shit is still blinding them. They can't get out there. So if their equipment can't even get nowhere close to that, imagine what these chariots are like that can fly through the sun and not be affected, but the sun is affected by it. All right. You also have massive fleets of chariots out in outer space. Massive chariots, basically sitting over top of, you got one sitting over top of the sun as well. You know, you can see it like right up under this, or it's kind of off to the side of the sun. You can see it reflecting up off of it. All right. Again, this thing is sitting right there on the side of the sun, and there's a fuckload of smaller chariots right around it. All right. And hey, man, there's just plenty of chariot sites. All you got to do is go on YouTube and look hard enough on there nowadays, and you'll find it. All right. But nevertheless, it says, continuing on, Matthew 24:30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the cloud of heaven with power and great glory. All right, coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That's talking about when he cracked the skies, you know, that's saying about when the Lord cracked the skies. He's going to be coming from, you know, what they would say outer space into these chariots, man. Or he's going to be coming to the earth in these chariots, man. All right, him and that whole host of angels, man. All right, they're going to come. It's going to be what they say is so-called alien invasion, man. All right. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other end, to the other. All right, and that's, you know, those chariots are going to be going out to deliver the elect. All right, before those chariots start going on attack mode and start destroying, you know, the rest of the inhabitants of the earth. All right, and before those nukes come down and turn this place into the lake of fire. All right, so I'm going to go from there to the book of Revelation, chapter 19, because we just read about how, you know, then you're going to see the sign of the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. All right, now, a horse is a representation of, like, back in the olden days, right? They had horse-drawn chariots, right? The horse was the power force that was drawing the chariot, all right? Like in modern, and now you fast forward that in today's times, all right? The horse-drawn chariot has turned and morphed into basically cars, all right? Now, the horse in today's chariots, like you got the regular chariot that was drawn by the horse back in those days, is basically the inside of your car, the so-called cockpit of your car where you ride in with the seats and everything like that. The horse would basically be the engine. All right, this is how they measure the power of your car. You know, oh, it got 700 horsepower. All right, because that's the thing that's actually drawing or propelling the car to go forward is the actual engine. All right, so what? This horse is in representation of what? Power. All right, white is in representation of pure. So what is it saying? It says Revelation 19 and 11, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, or pure power. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right. So this is basically talking about YAHAWASHI coming back. All right. Let me just keep reading. Hey, man, because this here is gangster. But it says, let me just keep reading because, let me just read on down. It says, verse 12, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Now, the many crowns that was on his head is a representation of him taking the crowns off these other kings' heads, which means stripping them of their rulership, stripping them of their power. All right. Meaning they're no longer having rulership on this earth. All right. This is when, when you read in the book of Daniel, how it says the saints are going to take the kingdom. All right. Well, we're going to be joint heirs with YAHAWASHI. He's going to be leading the charge with this. All right. And it says, like we were reading here, he's going forth to judge and make war. All right. So it says, let me read 11 again. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of the Most High. And the armies, all right, now what is the army? Basically, you know what an army is. This is your military arm. This is how your basically your military arm, your extension of your own weaponry, in the lack of a better terms. This is your fighting force. All right. So what? The Lord is coming back with a fighting force. All right. It says, and the armies which were in heaven, all right, these chariots, that's what you call so-called UFOs. All right. They're going to come from out of what you call, so-called outer space. They're going to come in and invade the earth. All right. And then there's going to be a war on earth. All right. It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him with white horses, pure power. They coming in the chariots as well. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean, pure power, excelente. These how they say in Spanish, these chariots are el hombre intocable, unfuckwittable. You can't touch this shit, bro. As you seen in the video, bro, they over here shooting all that they can shoot at it, and not one of those bullets hit, none of them bullets hit the chariot once. Hey, you seen that chariot just fucking with their ass, bathing around in them bullets. It's like, this shit ain't shit. I ain't even going, I got my shit on low right now. I can go way faster than this shit, bro. Like, y'all ain't, look, bro, I'm just fucking with y'all right now, But nevertheless, verse 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress with fierceness and the wrath of the almighty power. All right, so what? Who the world English calls Jesus Christ, all right, YAHAWASHI is coming back in what you call so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Most High, all right, to judge and to make war against these nations that's on the face of the earth. All right, because why? In the midst of World War III, when the Lord come back and how they already have it set up, you're going to think it's it's an alien invasion. Our problems are so minuscule now, all right? This is what this is all going to. It's not necessarily that they really want to have a World War III, but no, they can't really tell the population, well, we really building up this massive arsenal of weapons and shit like this because we know that there's some so-called aliens coming and we really don't got the upper hand, so we're going to just try to hit it with all that we got. People would freak the fuck out, all right? But what? In the midst of World War III, all right, really the World War III is all being done because what? It's the will of the Most High, man. All right, you can read that in, Joel chapter 3. All right, he's going to bring them down to the valley of YAHAWASHI. All right, and then they're going to be going at war with one another. But in the midst of this here war, this is when YAHAWASHI is going to come back. And this is when he's going to basically wage war against them. All right, well, the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to wage war against him. And the Lord is going to ultimately slay their ass, man. Slay to the fullest, man. Flawless victory, reigning supreme on these bitches, man. All right, putting their ass in subjection, man. Letting their ass know who the real God is on this planet Earth, man. All right. Yahweh is his name, and YAHAWASHI is his son's name, man. All right. Verse 16, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's right. El Rey del Reyes And I'm not sure how to say the Lord of Lords, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? The King of Kings, bro. Reigning supreme on these bitches, man. All right? This is what I quoted earlier. This is verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves into the supper of the great power. All right? But nevertheless, hey, man, like I said, you can go on YouTube and see a chariot fly through the sun. All right? You can look that up. I believe I looked it up. It's UFO in the sun. All right? Now, if you look at the background picture, it's like mostly all the screen is all blue. There's like a circle in the middle of the screen, because if you're trying to film the sun directly, you really can't do that. So there's something in the middle of the screen, all right, that's covering up the sun. But nevertheless, it's the exact same size as the perimeter of the sun. So when you see the chariot fly through it, all right, you can still see the splash that comes off of it, all right? But nevertheless, let me continue on. We go into the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 31. I'm going to start at verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses that trust in chariots. All right. Because what? You know, just like you see in the movie Independence Day, man. All right. They had that out there because that's where matter of fact, that's where they get the goddamn movie Independence Day from. Those scenes in there. We're going to get that in the book of 2nd Ezra, man. All right. Lord will now have that in this here clip as well, too, man. All right. You'll be able to see all of that, and you'll see this is exactly where they get this here from, man. There's no new so-called ideas on the planet Earth, man. All right, there's nothing new under the sun, like the scriptures say, man. So where they're getting all these things from is basically out the scriptures, man. All right, it says, and now another thing to this is, just like I was saying in the movie Independence Day, you're going to have a lot of Jake. You know what I'm saying? That's the only people we really care about is the Israelites. But nevertheless, you're going to have a lot of Jake in there, but you're going to have a lot of these damn Americans, right? That's going to get that so-called American pride that's going to band together, just like after 9/11. Be like, Team America, fuck yeah. Let's go blow some shit up. That's how they're going to be. They're going to be a gung-ho. You're going to see all these people, fuck these aliens. Let's go to war with these bastards. Because that's what they being programmed to go with, you know? And then in a time like this, you're going to see a lot of people who are going to be so-called wise in their own counsel. They're like, you know what? We better off with the Americans and the American government, the American military. Surely we the most powerful military on the planet Earth. Yeah, when you fucking with mere mortals, and especially when you live with Esau, man. This is his kingdom. Of course, he gonna be dominating everybody else. But that's like you riding in a goddamn Lamborghini, all right? And you over here picking on some motherfuckers at a local, what they call car show and shit. Like, you know, back in the days and shit, you know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, you know, they had the little car shows, car meets. You know, you had the little lowrider cars meet in the parking lot or whatever, whatnot. The little racers and shit, they'd meet in the parking lot and they'll go out. Like, we got these long-ass bridges out over the water, all right, where it's like 7 miles, 14 miles and shit like that, where you can go on these bridges and, you know, you can race your car for like shit 14 miles long, man. And if you know anything about racing, man, you can have multiple races and top your car out at top speed 150, 160 and just start over again. But nevertheless, all right, you're going to wind up seeing basically you're going to see people who are going to think that you know, the American military is so much more superior. But again, this is just like, yo, you riding in a Lamborghini and you go down to the local races with the local high school kids and people out of high school. Like, they only got money enough to build the cheapest Honda Civic they can get. Yeah, this shit fast, regular, you know, comparably to all the damn cars you could buy stock off the lot, like a regular Honda Accord off the lot. Yeah, turbocharged Civic somebody built gonna be faster than that. But comparably to a Lamborghini, come on, bro, that's just child's play, bro. Nah, you see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is what it's going to be like. Yeah, Esau looks superior amongst these other nations when he's up upon them, when he has the power to have the sword, all right? But against spiritual warfare, are you dealing with the Lord, bro? The Lord gave you all that the Lord is the one who gave you that sword, bro. Who the fuck taught you? Who the fuck you taught you how to wield that goddamn sword, man? Think about it. Who gave you all the ideas and the technology to create all these things, man? All right, who gave you the elements that you need to create all these things to begin with? All right, who's bound by the so-called laws of basically, let's just say, the earth? You know, y'all need fuel to keep refueling these planes. You only got a certain amount of ammo and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You need power source and food and supplies and all that shit, bro. Hey, man, the Lord don't get tired, bro. The Lord, hey, let me get that real quick. What is that? Isaiah 40. Let me get that real quick. Ooh. Let me just start at verse Isaiah 40 and 25. To whom will you liken me? Or shall I be equal, saith the Holy One? Who the fuck is like the Most High? Nobody. Ain't nobody challenging his words, bro. I mean, you only got retarded ass heathen, but they just missile food. And really, they only doing that because the Most High programmed they asked to do that just so he can have something to just have some entertainment with, you know? Just like you setting up those, you know, when people have domino sets, you know, or Jenga blocks, they set them up, you know, how they knock over the dominoes. You set up the dominoes just to knock them the fuck over. You know what I'm saying? That was the purpose, you know? It says, to whom, Isaiah 40:25, to whom will you liken me? Or whom shall I be equal, saith the Holy One? Lift your eyes on high, and behold, who have created these things, and bringeth their host out by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for he is strong in power, and not one faileth. You see what I'm saying? You don't know, bro, you don't know what you fucking with, bro. You talking about you don't understand dark matter, black matter, and all that shit in space, and certain things you don't understand. Look up. The one who created all these things and all the mysteries that you marvel over and you wonder about, that is Yahawah. All right? Hey, he gave the blueprint to YAHAWASHI to create all these things. So you fucking with the ultimate power, bro. You have no idea what you fucking with, man. All right? Verse 27. Why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speakest, O Israel, my ways are hid from Yahawah, and my judgment is passed over from my power. Verse 28. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, Yahawah, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary, and there's no searching out his understanding. The Most High don't get tired, bro. He do this shit in his, how you can say he do this shit in his sleep, bro. When the Most High so-called vacation, he's still working your bitch ass, bro. From the beginning to the end, bro. The Most High is that Jake, bro. He reigneth in the kingdom of men. All right, and he reigneth in all the kingdoms, bro. Fuck that. He's the creator of all this, man. All right, so you not fucking with him. There's no searching out his understanding, man. The Most High gave you this technology and the shit that you got, your AI planes. The reason he gave you these AI fighter jets and shit like that and these AI drones that you got. All right, if y'all don't know about that, these new fighter jets that they got, like the Su-57 and the Chinese, what is it, the JX-30 or some shit. These shits is actually AI enabled, so where they don't need a pilot to fly these shits, man. And America's secretly working on one of them as well, too. All right, but because of the fact, if you understand them computers, they can compute at such rapid speeds and shit like that that you have no idea the fuck is really going on, man. These planes is fucking serious. But the Most High gave you that shit just to get, not to even say give himself a challenge, just so it ain't just like he come onto the planet and snap his fingers and your ass disappear, bro. That's all it really mean. That's all. Hey, all he got to do is just say, don't exist, and you don't exist. You know, just hey, by you know, his very word was the heavens and the earth's created, man. So by them saying words is it all ended. All right. Let me get back to Isaiah 30. Isaiah 31. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahawah. All right. So woe to you that's going to trust and put your trust in this American military, bro. Woe to you you Israelites that's in this military, bro. Because yo at a, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's some people that's in the military. I actually got a cousin in the military. You know, the last time I talked to him, which was a couple weeks ago, he said he only got like 60 days left in the military. Hey, and if that's what your case is, that's a blessing. You know, I knew somebody else that was in the military, you know, when I was finding out about this truth. And, you know, he wound up getting out by that time, man. Hey, pray that you lucky enough, you know, you blessed to be able to get up out of here before your ass going to be, you know, buried in the damn soil wherever your ass is at. Because, look, once your ass get deployed, it ain't no coming back, bro. All right? But, hey, woe to them that had that thought process, like, you know what? Fuck that. We're going to go gung-ho for America. They got the best shit, the best arsenal. Yeah, but, bro, you got mere, like, gunpowder and weapons and shit like that, bro. You ain't got no goddamn chariot, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no chariots, all right? It says, verse 3, now the Egyptians are men and not power, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. So you trying to trust on these fighter jets. Again, you got to refuel these fuckers. You got to restock the ammo on them and stuff like that. And again, one of the reasons that they got one of the things that these AI jets, you know, the reasons they have the AI jets versus having man jets is because with the new jets they got coming out, they can be able to do some maneuvers that would basically kill a human being inside the damn plane. All right, now really you can go back to, I believe it was the Su-37. All right, it's an older Russian plane that could do a whole lot of like crazy maneuvers. You can go look this up now. You know, Russian Su-57 maneuvers and so on and so forth. You know, and that's when you see the men actually flying the planes. You know, flying at like, you know, damn near full speed. Not full speed, because these shits is like damn near hypersonic. All right, or supersonic. They might be hypersonic. You know, but nevertheless, hey, hitting like a supersonic speed, and all of a sudden you just pulling the air brake and making a stop, man. Those G forces would just straight kill a man. All right, you try nose diving from like what they call, you know, the upper Earth's orbit or whatever, whatnot. So when you go far enough up into the damn sky, it actually get dark up there, man. All right. So you try and you know, you got fighter jets that actually can fly up there, you know, but you take your ass up that high up and then you drop straight the fuck down and see what the fuck happened to your body. Your ass would fucking die. All right. Because of all the G forces that's pounding on your ass, man. Like your body would collapse. All right. But what? That's mere flesh. That's what the man can make. All right. But these chariots, bro, these shits, they don't, hey, they could be flying at, ain't no telling what speed they can fly at, bro. But nevertheless, they could just all of a sudden stop on a dime, man. There's actually chariot footage of a missile being launched, all right? And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this chariot just catch up to this shit, all right? And fly in front of the damn missile and shoot a laser at it, disable the missile, all right? And then just take off and keep flying in front of the shit, you know? Just imagine that. Just imagine you shooting a bullet out of a gun, all right? And then all of a sudden, you know, like the superhero Flash, or what that dude, the Quicksilver or whatever his name is, start running, all right, to catch up to that bullet, go in front of the bullet, you know what I'm saying, and look at the tip of that bullet, touch the bullet, and then take off and run in front of the bullet. That you got to be fast as shit for that, man. All right, like I said, these chariots is not fleshly or earthly bound. It's not made by mankind, bro. You ain't got you're not fucking with that shit, man. All right. It says let me read verse 3 again. Now the Egyptians are men and not power, for their horses are flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he and that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall fall, and they shall fail together. So, hey, you trying to put your stay on Babylon and putting your trust here in America and your guns, your bomb shelters, or whatever the fuck you think you got that you. Bro, it ain't no outrunning this shit, bro. First and foremost, you can't really like, there's nothing that you can do to stop a goddamn ICBM missile from hitting your ass, right? Let's just, like, on a carnal sense. Like, if they shoot off missiles, nigga, it ain't shit you can do about that. Your ass is just grass, right? Now, that's mankind shit. Now, imagine the chariots. You really ain't fucking with that. There's nothing you can do about that, man. All right? Verse 4, For thus have Yahweh spoken unto me like as a lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when the multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. All right, and now Yahweh himself isn't coming down. All right, he's gonna send who? YAHAWASHI. We read that in Revelation 19. All right, YAHAWASHI is coming down. All right, in the fathership, and he's gonna have the host of angels with him, and they're gonna wage war. All right. But it says, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and the hill thereof. So, man, the Lord ain't gonna be scared of no shit like this, man. All right, the Lord is not flinching at no shit like this. He's like, ooh, game time. You know, hey, the scriptures say I have long time holding my peace. Now will I roar like a woman that travaileth, you know? Yahawashi said, roughly paraphrasing, how does it say? The day of vengeance is in my heart. All right. Let me see. Let me read verse 5. It says, as birds flying. All right. Hey, you know how a flock of birds be flying? They be all over the spot. Well, hey, sometimes the birds come in a V formation. All right. Hey, and sometimes this is how you see chariots flying in these certain formations like this. All right. You'll see what looks like a giant ass pyramid flying, but it'll really be 3 different chariots. All right. Where it'll be like one just flying out in front of the other two, or the other two will be, one will be on his left side and one will be on his right side a little further down. Again, you can look at, you just go on YouTube and look up, you know, chariot fleets, chariot invasions, or no, don't put in chariots, put in UFO fleets and things like that, man. All right. And you'll see them just like that. They be coming in these different formations and stuff like that, man. All right. But then, and also, you know how a bird is, you know, like how an eagle is flying over his prey. You know, he flying over the battlefield, flying over, you know, the grassy land or whatever, whatnot. And I forgot how far up an eagle can see, how good his eyesight is, but he can see a little small mouse, all right, from way the fuck up in this damn sky, man. All right. So, and the mouse don't even see his ass coming. Like Barack Obama said, you won't even hear these damn predator drones. You won't even see this shit coming. Your ass is going to be grass. How much more when Yahawashi come back, man? Hey, they got cloaking abilities, all right, to where they can make themselves invisible and it'd be a chariot right there and you don't even see it, you know? And they could change sizes on your ass, man. You never know what the fuck is going on here, man. All right, so like the superhero Ant-Man. You know, he can get big and get small. So you think you got this big ass chariot in your sight and you locking it on, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, this chariot turned to the size of a fly. You're not gonna see no fly. Imagine you trying to look for a fly while you flying in an airplane. Trying to look out the window of the airplane and try to pick out a fly while you flying. You're not gonna see that little bitty ass thing, man. All right, just barely walking outside, you're not gonna see it fly unless it's kind of close up on you. You don't see it flying off at a distance. It's so small. All right. So, hey, look, the Lord is gonna be like this. Hey, man, He gonna come down from the skies with these damn chariots on your ass, man. All right. Verse 5 again, as birds flying, so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, He will deliver it. All right. So look, like we was just reading earlier. All right, we're gonna be delivered. All right, we're gonna be in these 6 different plagues or whatever, but in the 7th we're gonna be delivered. That's when the Lord gonna say, "Come up hither." All right, come up out of her, my people. All right, so look, that's when the Lord is gonna come over, and He's gonna wind up delivering us up out of there. All right, and then He's gonna wind up and also fighting for us with these chariots, man, and delivering us with these here chariots, man. All right, and there's been multiple accounts in the scriptures like that, like matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait. I think it's chapter 12. Give me 1 second, Salakia. Let me find, what was that, Salakia, give me 1 second, brother, and bear with me for a second. Slot, give me 1 second. This is 1 Kings. I know it's in here somewhere. Oh no, Salak, it's 2 Kings. All right, this is just a quick account. This is 2 Kings 6:14. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And the servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? So basically, Elisha was surrounded by these horses and chariots, actual horses and chariots, right? There was an army outside, basically. And Elisha prayed and said unto Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahweh opened his eyes, and the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yahweh and said, Smite this people, I pray, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. All right, so look, there's been multiple times when the chariots actually came down. All right, and basically came down and had contact. Basically, hey, they actually did some damage, man. All right, let me go to Second Ezra, chapter 13. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at the top. This is 2 Ezra 13:1, and it came to pass that after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. Now, when we was reading in Revelation 19 and 11 about when Yahawashi is returning. All right. Matter of fact, let me grab something else, because there's a scripture in Revelation 12. Revelation 11 talking about, or going back to Matthew 24, when you're going to see the sign of the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Then Revelation 19 talk about how the heavens was open and Yahawashi came, great power and great glory coming in these chariots. All right. Now let me go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 12. All right. This is Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. All right. Now, this isn't, popular to contrary Christian belief. This isn't talking about basically the devil and the Lord is fighting in the spiritual realm. That's not what's going on, man. All right. Because all the angels are in subjection unto the Most High. All right. Now, an angel and a demon is basically the same thing. It just depends on what their job is. Just like a criminal and a police, they the same thing. They both human beings. It just depends on what your occupation is. One of y'all is a criminal as your occupation, and the other one is trying to catch the criminals, right? One is on the good side, one's on the bad side, but they both human beings, right? They both go home and take a shit. They both got to eat and whatever, whatnot, right? Same thing with these basically angels and demons, all right? They both basically work for the Most High one way or another, all right? But it says, Revelation 12 and 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels. So Michael and his angels is talking about basically when Yahawashi come with the host of the angels from heaven, all right? And they're going to be fighting against who? The dragon. And who's the dragon? The dragon back in the old days was basically the Roman Empire. Now we living in the rebirth of the Roman Empire again, all right? So basically, you're going to be seeing Esau and his military and them, NATO and all them, like Ronald Reagan said, they're going to be fighting against the Lord, all right? So it says, and there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. All right. So look, there was, they basically, this is basically when the Lord is coming and going to wage war against these Edomites, and not just the Edomites, these other nations as well, too. And he's going to take the crowns off their head. That's why it says there was neither any more place found for him in heaven, because he's taking his rulership. That heaven is talking about his rulership. All right. Him sitting on his throne. Now, let me go from there to 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. I'm going to start at the top. It says, and it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. All right, that's talking about basically when the Lord's coming back in that fathership, just like that scene in Independence Day, the first time they seen that first chariot that came up out of those clouds. That's what they be talking about. Oh, they coming in great clouds, because as you can see the visual optics in the movie Independence Day, all right, those chariots was revealed out of those big pillars of clouds of smoke, all right? So it says, verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire, all right? And it's going to go into, what this is talking about, but this is basically talking about laser beams, concentrated heat. Again, there's a scene in Independence Day where you can see that, all right? When they standing on top of that skyscraper, they got the little signs out, and then that what the scriptures call his mouth, when that mouth of that ship opened up, and then that laser beam came down and it fucking destroyed those buildings, all right, with that concentrated heat, that laser beam, all right? You can look at Esau. Esau actually got laser weapons, all right? This is what they proposed they was using out there in the California Paradise Fires, but you can actually see Esau in the military. You can look that up, laser weapons, and the effects that it has or whatever, whatnot, and how it can bore holes through damn near anything. All right. But nevertheless, it says, verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came from the sea. All right. This is talking about in the midst of World War III. All right. There was gathered together a great multitude of men. All right. From the four winds of heaven, from all these different nations, like Ronald Reagan said, how minuscule our problems become if, there was some kind of outside threat that threatened us. We would just put aside our differences and band together and fight against that. That's what's going to happen according to the scriptures, man. In the midst of World War III, man. All right. The Lord's going to come back. All right. And wage war against their ass. And we're going to read it right here. Verse 6, and I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Talking about that chariot. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which Salak, verse 7. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, but I could not. All right, talking about like it was like a big ass mountain, but damn, this, you know, you couldn't see it. It was like taking up the whole sky from one end of your sight to the other end. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Another scene out of Independence Day. All right, well, Will Smith comforted the dude. He's like, nah, we not into the fat lady scene. Save that cigar or whatever, whatnot. That's him so-called comforting them, giving them that pep talk. But they afraid, they trembling. They ain't never seen no shit like that. And also they see how they firing off they nuclear missiles and shit like that. But then the shield come up and those missiles is nothing. All right. So it says, hey, it's just like throwing rocks at a tank, bro. You realize, like, yo, you have far inferior weapons to what you fighting up against. Verse 8 again, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. All right, so he ain't using a conventional warfare, the shit that they got. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, all right, like you seen in Independence Day when that chariot opened up, the so-called mouth of the chariot opened up, and that green laser beam came out. It was either green or blue. You'll see it in the video. Came out and destroyed the building. This is what it's talking about. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and the tempest, and all they were mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, all right, which that, you know, you mixing all that together is what? Concentrated heat, laser beams, all right, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. So you get this here scene out of the movie The World of Worlds with Tom Cruise, when they had those big ass tripods and they was blasting them with those laser beams, and then the people was turning to dust. All right, that's what you were seeing. But a real life scenario of that is when you go back to 9/11. All right, you know, I'm not gonna go too far into all of that, but the question to solve all that shit is to ask, where did those buildings go? You had all the tons and tons and tons of material that made up those buildings and everything that was in it. And you all watched on TV, and within 8 seconds, all that material and all that matter and all that shit turned to naught. It all turned to dust in a matter of 8 seconds. All of that rubble and all the tons and tons of all that concrete all turned to dust. People, wood, metal, everything all turned to dust. Nothing was to be able to perceive but dust and the smell of smoke, man. You seen all those people covered in ashes and shit like that? All right, everything was instantly incinerated, all right? What can do that? High concentrated laser beam weapons, man, all right? So it says, verse 12, well, that's pretty much all I wanted to grab there. Let me just continue on, because that's basically the scene of what? The Independence Day. That's where you get Independence Day from, all right? The movie Independence Day, the first one, all right? We'll go down to this is Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots, all right, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahweh is among them in Sinai, in the holy place. So look, when Yahawashi come back, he's coming back in these chariots. All right, and he's coming back with a host of heaven, all right, a military wing, if you would say, the military Air Force, if you would, all right, and he's going to be coming down with these chariots, man, all right? He's coming down with so-called UFOs. There's going to be a so-called invasion of the Earth of these UFOs, and there's going to be a so-called intergalactic fight here on Earth, man. But in reality, it's Yahawashi coming back with the angels to do what? To deliver up the elect, all right, and bring out judgment and take the crowns off these kings' heads, all right? I'm going to read this last thing. We're going to close out here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, all right? Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as is afflicted and made no account of his labors. All right, and that's, you know, we stand on the highways and the byways now, preaching and prophesying. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Twofold, because they know, for one, their kingdom is coming to an end. They seeing the prophets raised back up. They seeing the power of Israel being stirred back up. That's one reason why, you know, fear is falling upon them. All right, but the other reason is what? When they see these damn chariots, then they gonna really know, oh shit, now it's time for Judgment Day. All right. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. Because this the last thing in your mind is to equate so-called UFOs with the Lord. I was upon this train of thought, like, yo, you know, way back when I was younger and in the world, it's like, yo, there's either aliens or there's the Most High and the angels. You know, it can't be both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High didn't create all this stuff, and then there's some rogue-ass aliens out there that he can't control. Or there's some fucking aliens out there, you know what I'm saying, some kind of way, and maybe we was created by them. All right, but really, it's twofold, because look, the aliens, which is something foreign, all right, YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, is foreign to this here place. They don't really understand him right here, right now. All right, and he's coming from outside of this here world, and he's coming to take the crowns off these here kings, man, and set up righteousness. All right. Verse 2 again, and when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he in whom we had sometimes derision, a proverb, and reproach. They're going to be saying that when they start seeing basically the majority of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being beamed up. They'll be like, oh, damn, these niggas is getting saved? Why the fuck we getting destroyed and they being saved, man? All right, like in the movie The World of Worlds, some of them getting zapped and they getting scooped up. Some of them getting zapped to turn into dust, all right? Once people start figuring out what the hell is going on, they'll be like, oh, wait, well, we're going to read it. Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, as this was he in whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the saints, or how is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot among the saints? Therefore have we erred in the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shone unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as the way of the Lord we have not known it. For what have pride profited us, or what have riches with our vaunting brought us? All right, so look, all their money and all this stuff that they investing in all this stuff and hiding this here truth, it's not stopping the prophecies from coming to truth, man. It's not stopping YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, all right, well, Yahweh from sending YAHAWASHI to redeem the elect, man, and to destroy this goddamn kingdom, man, and to take the crowns off these kings' heads, man. All right, this is prophecy, and this is what's going to stand, man. This is according to the scriptures, man. All right, so look, prepare to start seeing more and more footage like this coming out, more and more militaries coming after these things, trying to figure these things out, man, and so on and so forth, man. When you see these things, you should be rejoicing because you know that salvation is nearer than what we ever believe, man. All right, you seeing militaries fighting at these damn chariots and stuff like that, man. There's enough footage and clips out there to where we don't have to take footage and clips from actual movies, all right, to show you, to illustrate what we're talking about. We can just actually give you real live footage. You're like, this is the fuck we was talking about the whole time, man. It's not an imagination. People seeing this all day, every day, man. You know how some people say seeing is believing? What's your excuse now? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. I didn't mean for this video to be that long, but hey, you know, this was for the edification of the elect. Lord willing, they was edified with this here video. So until next time, I say stay strong, shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, RAKAKWADASH, double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for the Akim pushing in his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong and shalom.
The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Come and see the works of God. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Go, 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 go!
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. Amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.